Hello and welcome everyone to AFR Round 5 for the Tier 1 Championship. My name is Kuno0 as always, and tonight I'll be flying solo in the commentary box as Seacarrot hasn't made it yet, so hopefully I can entertain you enough on my own as we are here ready for qualifying. We're watching the first of the drivers come out on the out lap. Let's go on board with Saxa on the Alfa Romeo. See what his attempt can give us. See, he'll come out and start warming up their tyres. Alright, so we saw a decent race last week at Baku. Had 8 DNFs in total, which was a bit of a surprise, but it is what it is. So hopefully we'll see Revo perform a little bit better and actually finish the race this time around. Obviously we've got with Catalunya, circuit to Barcelona, Catalunya, it's a very high downforce circuit, so we're expecting a lot of high downforce setups, fast corners, fast straights, so not as tight. Of course, it's a street circuit, but having said that, if you get the wrong, if you don't get the right brake marker or don't have the right entry, you'll certainly fly off and smash right into the side of those barriers. And you don't want that as Saxa comes around that last corner for his attempt. Alright, so 8th gear, DRS on. Hot lap mode on the ERS as he makes his way into turn 1 and gets right up on that curve there. Will he use all of this? No, avoids the slippery curve up into turn 2 as he punches up through the gears, slightly backing off so he doesn't go way too wide there. As he comes up to the Pirelli banner, hard on the brakes down to 4th gear, moving around the bend, holds, gets decent momentum as he comes through, up through the gears, comes down into the sharper corner here. Does he get the exit speed? Not bad. Punches through. What's his second time going to look like? It comes in 7 and 8. Ooh, loses a bit of traction there, and that's obviously going to cost him. So, yeah, we're definitely up for another one. As the sector 2 time comes up to a 100 metre board, 53.384. Coming now into the back section of the track. We'll see how this goes. Down to 3rd gear as he comes into the last chicane as they move up to that straight, up through the gears. Let's see, what will he salvage? Looking at a 121. Oof, 120.8, not bad from him for his first one. Obviously can be improved. We'll move on to as Revo sets a 119. 0 on the hard compound, and Flyboy with a 120.3. Apollo comes in with a 120.3 as well. 118.6 from Bull and Rocky in the Alpha. Not bad. Sphinx comes in with a 119.8. Let's go down a bit more. We'll see. Get on board with Bandcamp and see what he can pull off in the Renault. We're looking at 52 for his second sector. Geordie comes in with a 123.5. First band rises 12, comes down 3rd gear. Coming into that tight chicane. We'll be able to put the power out. It looks so. What are we looking at? 120, 120.2. Not bad from the Renault. There's major paint slots in there as well. And Wahid with a 121.3. So obviously first laps, as they're all getting their bearings around the circuit. I'm sure these guys have done a lot of practice sessions throughout the week. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, just to point out that Combined does have a qualifying ban for blocking not 1 but 2 drivers last week in Baku, so that's going to hurt his chances. Obviously he's going to start at the back of the grid, but we'll see if he can make his way up through the grid. He does have some skill behind the wheel, so I'm sure he'll show us something. That's Wahid pass. We'll jump on with Wahid, see what's going on in the Toro Rosso. Yeah, you're right there. The first, if I remember correctly, the first penalty they wanted to give him was a 10-second time penalty to the end of his race, which is huge. 10 seconds, that's massive. So I think Combined put his hand up and said, look, can I get a qualifying ban instead? And that would obviously, I guess that works in his favour, because he won't have to worry about gaps or anything like that. He'll just have to worry about just putting his head down, giving us a good race, and we'll see how that pans out for him. Alright, that's why Heed comes up there, punching up through the gears as he moves. Not using all the track there, but it's alright. Down through the Pirelli banner. And through there, moves up, maintains the speed as he comes into the tight turn 6. There we go. Puts the power down as he comes into turns 7 and 8. What will he do here with the curb? Uses more of it. Oh, but that puts him into the gravel. It's going to cost him time. As he lets another one down. That was Major Pain, so we'll jump on board with him. His sector, he's down 0.09 on his previous, so we'll see how he works with this. He comes up to that last chicane section in the back, down a second gear, and pulls into the pits. So it's going to be him. He'll probably switch out to the medium compound for his qualifying. Let's jump on board with PC, see what he's doing. So he's obviously out on the flying. Oh no, he's got no ERS, so he's probably just finished his. So he's with the 119.4. How have we seen a shift here? Lotus with the 119.1, he moves up. Sphinx with the 119.8. He's now on his outlap. I'll get the set to, not get the set to fitted, so he's still on the hard compound, and Maptoid on the outlap. So we'll see what Matt can do now that he's on the soft tyre. Still got 5 people who haven't set a time, as is traditional. Seb, of course, just biding his time while the track rubbers in. Using all of the track section there. That's it. Comes in, puts himself really there, gives off the power a little bit. That's going to obviously give him less gravel exit for turn 9. Bad. So I see all this just to warm up to his flying lap. Right, let's jump on board with Gus Rules as he's now in his flying. As Gus comes to that back section, let's see what we've got here. So he'll be on here. Here we go. So 110. He comes into that chicane. And we get the power down. Let's see what he can do. 17, 18, 19. It's looking like a 21, 19, 8. That puts him up into 7th. Not bad. As Greeny and Nimble are on their outlaps. Let's pop on with the Renault. So he warms up. I'm not sure, Pencil. I believe C-Carrot said he'd be here for his T2 race, so whether or not he jumps on earlier, I'm not sure. Right now, it's just me. We'll see how that goes. Just means I've got to talk more, which could be a good or bad thing, depending on, of course, the subject. As Greeny's making his flying lap, coming into turn 1 there. Ooh, using less of that curb, but more of the inside. That's brave. 6th gear as he pushes through. Up to 7th. Gets the Pirelli banner down on the brakes. touch of grass, that's obviously going to cost him a little bit there. Let's do some exit speed. Let's see, here we go. Turns 7 and 8. Oh, uses a bit of that curve, goes a little bit wide there, but makes it work. Yeah, holds decent speed through there, hits the DRS, so see what his sector 2 time's going to be. Just in the 52.5 there, so that'll probably put him around maybe the 119, late 119s, early 120s, I think. See how he goes on the hard compound. Lotus has retired from the session, so he's going to obviously stick with that time of 119.1 as Greeny comes around. What will he do? 117 as he hits the ripple strip there. 119, 120, 120.3 on the hard compound there. As Nimble Eel is now on his lap in the Williams. So 52.6. Nice ride of the curve there. Oh, he's putting the 2 in. That's going to put him. Yep. Traction loss there. Way too risky. So that's obviously going to cost him. He'll probably drop down. Maybe a couple of tenths. Yeah, wide cut there. So obviously he'll just have to turn again. I'm assuming he's got low downforce, which is what's causing him to sway like that. 120.4 as he crosses the line. Alright, so the only person not to have set the time is Seb at the moment. But that is normal, usually waits for that 4-3 minute mark before he comes out there. So let's jump on with Revo as he comes on his out lap. So 119 for him on the medium compound, so we'll see what he can bring that down to. There's Bull and Rocky with the 118.6 is currently on pole. I'm sure Revo won't like that one bit. I know he's been practicing hard, trying to bring his times down further and further, so we'll see how much he can get. Does a little bit of a wiggle there, trying to get the temps up, trying to get those tyres into their optimum performing window. Oh jeez, there's a bit of understeer there. So 4 people now on their outlap, and the rest in the pits. Nimble on the Pella Pepsi currently doing theirs. He's just pulled into the pits. Okay, so Revo coming up on that back chicane now, setting up for his flying. See how he goes. Puts the power down. 6th, 7th, hits that DRS zone. He's got 4 on the ERS meter. See what he can do. 335 Ks he'll reach by the end of the straight. Also, no, hits a 330. So down through the gears, hits, uses all of that curve. Flyboy might actually mess him up. Doesn't seem like it did it too much. Use that inside curb. Tries to go for the wide angle into turn 3. Uses it. Comes up onto that Pirelli banner down through the gears. Moves through to turn 4. That puts him on. 5. That hits him into 6. Down in the tight corner. Gets that exit speed. Uses all of the green. Now into turns 7 and 8. Down through, will he use all of that curve? Yes, he does. Gets pushed a little bit. Moves. Coming up onto that blind turn 9. How much power does he put? Oh, Brave gets there. Touches the... Ooh, Saxa just in the way. Ooh, that was close. So he comes down through the gears. Slight lock up there on the front left. See how it goes for him. .104 as he comes into... There, 109, 10 as he comes onto that last power down. We'll see how it goes. 15 onto the strip, so that's going to be 18, are we talking? 117.9. 117.9 on the medium tyre, so that puts Revo in pole and forces Bull and Rocky in the Alpha down to that 2nd position. So not bad, not a bad drive from Revo. We'll see if he wants to improve on that. 3 minutes to go. Alright, as we jump on board with... Pacey as he starts his outlap. Pacey, of course, strong drives for every round so far. Doing very, very well for himself. Alright, uses both curves on that side. Sphinx, of course, went to the outside, making way as the Mercedes Pushing hard. We'll see how he does. Seb is taking his time to get out, but that's not... that's what he does. That's what he does. Only needs the one lap. Alright, so moving his way 7 and 8. Losing a lot of curve there. Puts him out a little bit, but I think that might work. He comes into the blind turn 9. Well, to hold on to that line there. So we'll see what he hits as he hits that one. 51.0. That's going to be quite a quick time there. That's also down on his sector. Oh, Flyboy in a really bad spot there. Oh, God, that pushes him quite wide. We'll see if that's cost him at all. Should be fine. Revo's retired, so Revo's going to be happy with that 1:17.9 there as the qualifying timer counts down past the 2-minute mark. We'll see what pace he can do. He comes around the corner there. 15 on the ripple strip. That's probably going to put him in the 17s. 18 low. 17.9. And that puts him on pole. So Revo down into second. And since he's retired, that's going to be it. So Pacey with pole for Spain. We'll see if his teammate can do any better. On board with Seb as he now prepares for his flying lap. 1:16 left on the qualifying timer. As Seb in the Mercedes. We'll see how he goes. Down through the gears. Misses that inside, but uses all of the inside of that one. As he comes through the gears. Very wide. Will he use the green stuff? Yes, he does. Puts himself up on that rubber strip through the Pirelli sector. 21.9. Seb's helmet does have a pretty good colour coordination there. Of course, if it clashes with the Mercedes, but you know, I'm no fashion designer. Alright, up through the gears as he comes into turn 9. Will he hold it? Pulls off just a little bit, keeps himself on the line, uses all of the red bit. Hits that DRS zone. What will he be for the first sector? 51.4. That's on par for a good time. We'll see if he can beat his teammate onto pole. Of course, you can get a decent amount of speed through this corner if you're lucky. Pushes up down 4th gear, rubs on that rised curb. Those curbs are killer. Hits that right in the middle there, 112. So if he hits this strip at the 115, or we might be just behind 117, 118, 118.1. So that puts him on 3rd as some of the others finish theirs. So, no, it looks like that's everyone out. I think that's going to be your grid as Geordie comes across the line. What does he do? Geordie slides in there in 4th position with a 118.5. And Sachs is off the course. Matt Zoid. What will he be able to do? Let's see, 112. What time will he hit that strip? 116, so that's going to put him up. It's probably going to slot in there where Sphinx is. No, Matt Zoid into 4th, 118.5. Not bad at all. So, who else is still out? We're looking at Greeny here as he crosses the line with a 120.1 Nimble Eel. Oh God, nut in the wrong spot there. Will that affect him at all? We'll see. Oh God, out. That's him out as well. Okay, so your front grid for this race will be Pacey with a 117.9 in pole position. Revo in the racing point right alongside him, and then the second row will be Seb in the Mercedes and Matt Zoid in the Red Bull, and then the third row of course will be his teammate Geordie in 5th position and the Alpha of Bull and Rocky in 6th. So hopefully we're in for a good race. Nice good track, fast track. Hopefully we'll get some great racing, and we'll see how it all pans out. And of course combined with that qualifying ban making him start in 19th position. Pacey living up to the name, yeah. Yes indeed. Fantastic drives from him in every single round. Battle of course ensuing as all of the drivers finish up. So we'll be ready to start very soon. Just as we work our way through the... Alright, so there you have it. Pacey in pole, Revo in 2nd, Seb in 3rd, Matt Zoid 4th, Geordie in 5th, and Bull and Rocky in 6th. Then you've got Sphinx, Bandcamp, Gus, Wahid, Lotus, Nimble, Major Pain, Flyboy, Saxa, Nut, Greenie, Apollo Pepsi, and of course combined starting from the back. So all in all, hopefully we'll have a great race. Revo being in second, he'll obviously look to push hard, qualifying on the medium, so we're looking at a medium to hard stint. Those mediums probably lasting till about lap 14 or so, and then running from the hards later on. So we'll see how it all comes out as we just wait for the game to start and they all tweak their race strategies. It's really weird not having someone to bounce off, but we'll make do with what we got. I'll just make sure to give him a hiding later. Freaking sea carrot. Unbelievable, man. Pencil giving everyone like drama for not copying the name when you copy the paste that, and then goes to do the exact same thing. Come on, man. Yeah, I just make up my own words. Word inventing stream. You have to admit though, sometimes if you think about how the English lexicon came to be, like how do people just come up with words, man? That's whack. Obviously there'd be some form of, if I had to take a guess, I'd say there'd be some form of what's the word they use? I can't remember the word they use. But basically sound attribution to making up words. But other than that, if you think about it, the brain named itself. That's the bit that keeps me awake at night. Yeah, Shakespeare was pretty dope. He made up some stuff. I bet you, obviously we don't have it well recorded, but I bet you Shakespeare was an absolute like party maniac. For someone to come up with those amounts of stories, no. He was hitting the goon hard, for sure. Or whatever equivalent they had in those days. Alright, so we've got the session starting in about 10 seconds, which means everyone's got their strategies done. I gave him some LSD once, that was mental. Oh yeah, for sure. Probably what gave him the idea for Hamlet. Just like, oh man, this skull's talking to me. Alright, so the grid make their way out onto their formation lap. Alright, let's get this set up. So we'll put it into interval. As we watch them on the start. And of course Revo out in front. Jeez, just can't handle being in second, can he? Typical Revo. Alright, so pretty much everyone's starting on the mediums, of course, except Bull and Rocky. He'll be starting on the softs. So he's going for the aggressive approach on that first stint. And we've got Nimble, Eel, Flyboy, and Apollo Pepsi starting on the hard compounds. They're obviously going to push it. It's a lot longer. See what they can do. Will we see some drift action from Revo, as per usual? Well, let's Pacey go through. Water gentleman. Into the 17s of his esports. Technically, but this would be the esports that's happening at the back of the pub on the really tiny television, where everyone's getting way more angry than they should. That's the type of esports we're playing here. Honest to God, if we could get a sponsorship in Victoria better, my day would be made. Right, as everyone starts making their way back to their starting positions, so we can start up this race. When are the F1s racing at Canberra? Oh, should they not make a street circuit around Parliament House? Would that not be the funniest thing ever? And make sure they do it while there's a Parliament on, so when I can switch back and forth between Sky and the politics thing, so I can just hear them going, yes, we need to pass this bill, wow, in the background. Alright, so, off topic, but here we go. 5 lights as the grid gets ready to start off. How will this go? And there they go, down towards turn 1 here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Looks like a pretty clean start so far as Pacey makes his way into that now. Will Revo try and cut up on the inside there? Pacey gives him a lot of room, and there it is. Oh, there's contact already. Forces Pacey out onto the side of the track, but he makes his way back. There's a lot of position changes, as you can see on the board, as Pacey slots into that second one. So, oh, good, and Seb's gone way off sideways as well. Oh, unlucky for him. He's way off into the gravel there. Pacey retakes that first position. Oh, not bad. Oh, God, it's just leapfrog between these two. There we go. Gets him out on the inside there. The Grosjean line. All right. So, God, what an interesting start. Okay, as Pacey starts to make a little bit of gap for himself. Of course, Gus moving up on Sphinx. Major Pain dropping one position back there as well. So, where did Seb's ended up at the back? So, of course, he'll have some work to do there, but nothing he can't handle as they make their way to the back part of the track as we get ready for that second lap. Alright. Very good. If you have a look at these intervals, they're all very close. Nobody passed that 1 second, so they've grouped up okay as Pacey makes it onto that main straight. We'll go on board with him. Pacey with a 126. Alright, let's see what goes on. We'll just go on to the view of Revo, as he is the closest of anyone. Let's see how this goes. Pacey turns into that turn 1, uses all of the curb. We'll see how the Racing Point does. We'll have to, the stewards might have to take a look at it. We'll see how that goes, but as far as I'm aware, he turned in and then went way wide, so I think he realised that Revo was on his side and then decided to give him as much room as possible. So Wahid and Flyboy are dropping a ton of positions there. Not sure what's going on. Might go on the back. Let's have a look. Alright, so Seb moves his way up. So Wahid and Apollo drop themselves back. Major Pain glitching out there with a plus 125, so we'll have to have a look at what's going on there. So Nimble, Nimble up to 7th there on the hard compound. Let's have a look at these gaps. So 0.4, 0.7, 0.4. Not bad. Okay, let's move up to Revo and Pacey. Oh God, Nimble's making his way back down. Oh God. What happened with him? Right. Okay, so he spun off there somewhere. As Revo sets the fastest lap there. Alright, and DRS is now enabled for them, so this will be a good chance for Revo to try and make up that position. Yeah, chat curse, God. You guys. This is just turning into one of those Twitch does F1. So you guys, I wonder if we could do that. You just choose which way the car goes, what ERS you choose, what DRS you choose. Alright, so everyone making their way through, so Pacey there in front with Revo really close behind. 0.4 the gap there between them, and Matzoid plus 2 seconds behind him. So they're only increasing that gap there. Let's have a look. So any really short gaps happening here. 0.3 for Sphinx and Lotus. And yeah, Seb's making his way through. Ooh. Deep on the braking there. Alright. So we'll see how Revo makes his way onto that straight. How are they touching that turn 2 curb? It comes down to your setup, but also if you put your tyre on the left side, on the outside, so if you're touching that green section and not the curb, it doesn't spin you. But if you put it on the curb, it tends to spin you left. So that's usually what's happening there. As Revo smashes on that DRS as he tries to climb back that position from Pacey, he won't quite get it, so he'll just have to set up. See, as you can see there, putting that tyre there right on the green bit, so it doesn't force you left. but it also doesn't count as a corner cut. So use what you can, I guess. Let's have a look down at the board. We'll go on with Geordie, who's 0.1 behind Gus. Ooh, it looked like a start of a little battle happening there. So we'll see what goes on. See how he can maintain his speed through this corner. Gus seems to have balked it a little bit. Now he's dropping through the times there. Alright, so third, fourth as he comes up through the gears. How will they? Matt Zoid with a 3-second time penalty. God, must have got multiple corner cuts there. Unfortunate for him. It's going to affect his race. Oh, on lap 4 too. Rough. Okay, so we'll see how his teammate does. Geordie climbs up onto that Ferrari. Major Pain 0.1 behind Lotus as well. Oh, God, there's almost contact there. So Geordie just braver on the brakes there. Oh, gets in there as well. I think Gus lacking a little bit of pace here. Not sure what's going on here, but I'm sure Geordie will capitalise as we do. Nimble Eel gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting as well. Jesus. At lap 5. I just have to slow it up. Alright, so let's see what Geordie can do. Revo, 0.2 behind Pacey as well. I don't think he's going to catch him. No, he's already started to slow, so we'll see if Geordie can do the same. Will he try and go on the inside of the corner? I don't think so. He'll play it safe. He'll play it on the outside and just maintain the gap. That's why he drops down 2 positions as well. Oh, he's dropped down, so he's gone into the pit, sorry. So that would explain all of that. Why he just got a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, I think. Unfortunate for him. God, time going everywhere. The stewards are just throwing the clocks at people. Alright, as we have a quick look at the grid here, 0.4 there for Major Pain, 0.2 on Geordie. So he's the closest one so far. And Revo extending that gap. Matt Zoid with a +5. So it looks like Pacey and Revo having their own little mini race. And then from 3rd to about 9th. Actually, about 7th is another one. Again, we'll see how we go here. So Geordie up on that DRS, of course, going to close the gap. Pushes down to the 100-metre break marker. Oh, he's just got way more speed out of that corner there. So Gus suffering on the low bits and the slow sections of the course. Yeah, geez, look at that. But it looks like the Ferrari does have pace on the straight, so that might be the key there. That's why he can get away. Geordie can't quite catch it. Pacey setting a 121.7 there from him in the Mercedes. Alright, we'll see how that goes. Revo now bringing down that gap, but it probably won't be enough to catch him there. We'll see if Geordie can do the same. That doesn't quite look like it. He's just going to have to keep it there. So the Ferrari obviously has immense pace on the straight sections of the track, losing a little bit. So, and Sachs has retired from the session. So we have our first DNF at lap 6. Unfortunate for the Alpha, so it'll be up to Bull and Rocky to try and score points again this week for the Alfa Romeo. As they come through, Geordie and Gus the closest of the bunch at the moment. As they come through turn 7 and 8 into the wide blind turn 9. Lifting off a little bit there. It'll be interesting to see if anyone can ride that flat. I don't think anyone's got the setup for that, but it also means that if you're running it enough to go flat, you're probably really slow on the rest of the track because you've just got too much downforce. So, all right. Revo setting a 121.6. Might just quickly pop up to him, see how he goes. Oh, as he's overtaking right on the outside. Will he be able to hold it though? Because he'll have the switchback as he comes on the inside, uses all of that curb. Oh, Pacey pushing him off. There is absolutely no give here. Oh, as Pacey takes that position back. Not bad from the Mercedes driver. Revo's like, get out of my way. Not going to warn you again. So he's caught on the outside, of course, the longest section of the track. Doesn't want to do anything risky. Oh, fantastic there. Pacey's not going to give this up without a fight, as proven. And Revo's like, if it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get. As they move into turn 7 and 8. Punching up through the gears. How do we go? Using all of the track available to them. Using all of that section as well. Coming up onto turn 9. See how we go. Alright, so Revo, of course, with the added advantage of DRS. He's got his ERS set to 0, so he's charging up the battery. Obviously wanting the highest ERS management he can for the straights. Because that's where he's going to catch the Mercedes of Pacey. Let's have a look. Where is his teammate right now? Seb with in 9th position. So not bad after that accident there as he flew off the track at the start of the race. Okay, Revo making his way down, 0.7 behind. He'll still be within DRS range. We'll see if he can do any type of attack. Smashes on the DRS. There it is, 4 overtake setting on the ERS. Probably won't be able to catch him at the back, but he will make up the pace. Oh, God, no, I think he's going to go for a tyre bomb. No. Just moving out onto the side there. Playing it safe. Good choice. You don't want to screw up your chances on lap 8. Sometimes you have to give up the battle to win the war. That's probably what Revo's thinking right now as Greeny makes his way past Lotus and Seb makes his position up again. So Seb 3 seconds behind Sphinx there. Might let these guys have a little break. We'll go down to Geordie. Now he's just, gluing himself to the back of this Ferrari, but can he overtake? It's been about 4 laps so far where he just hasn't been able to make the pace there at the end. Wahid with a 121.5 on the soft compound. Geordie does have a 3-second penalty too, so he's going to have to work real hard to make sure he can make up as much position time as he can in order to negate the effects of the time penalty. Just don't cut corners, boys. Just don't cut corners. I say this as a Tier 2 driver who's very, very bad. Oh, does he get him on the inside? Fantastic move there. Pulls the brake marker early, but gets that apex switch. And that's Geordie with 5th in his pocket, as Gus has no choice but to take 6th. So that was a great move there by the Red Bull. I love seeing that. I love doing that, to be honest. If you can pull it off just right, you can do really, really well there. Okay, as they come down. Oh my God, Gus, catch it, mate, catch it. There we go. Ooh, as the Haas driver goes, thanks, mate. I'll just take that position from you. Oh, unlucky there. He loses a little bit of traction. And, woo, that was the can with the steering wheel trying to keep it on the straight, but he's done it. Okay, so no crash out, but he does lose he loses 1 position there. So obviously he'll have to work hard to try and get those back. Let's have a quick look at the intervals here. 0.4 from Revo, so he'll surely be able to try and make that back up again. To +8 from Matzoid, so there is that's a decent sized gap. Whether or not he'll be able to catch that, and Matzoid does have time penalties as well, so that's going to affect him. But we'll see if the rest of the grid can try and make up that. Of course, we might see an accident. We could see a safety car. I doubt that. Anything can happen. So we'll see how that all pans out. And if we look at the back side of the grid there, Nut with 0.3 on Flyboy might quickly jump on that. See how that goes as they come. He's coming in through turn 7 and 8. Using all of the track and the gravel. A little bit of a bad choice there. Loses a little bit of traction, so obviously that's going to affect his time. So we've got some decent battles happening. We've got the front, we've got the middle, and we've got the back. A little bit worse there on the back. Obviously you've got Bull and Rocky 9th. 9. He's 17th with +9 through the gap. Apollo with +4 behind combined. So I mean, combined started last, but he's already 15th. So if he keeps Wahid with the 3-second time penalty, I mean, he's 18th. So it's not going to. If that's where he's staying, it's not going to affect him that badly. But we'll see how they go as Nut makes his way past. Yes, he gets past the Ferrari. Now he's just got to slow up and make that first turn. Uses a lot of curb there. Will Flyboy be able to make it back? Probably not, but he will have the gap for the next DRS section past turn 9. So we'll have to see how that pans out. Now everyone now extending their gaps a little bit. Geordie now 1.8 behind Bandcamp. Gus has made his position back on Sphinx. That's a 1.7. Ooh, lock up there for the Ferrari. But Nut goes wide, so the gap remains the same. See how they go. He's the closest here with 0.2. Oh, Nut gets a little bit of sideways action. And the Ferrari's definitely going to capitalise on that. But which way does he go? Left or right? He doesn't know. Holds back. So Nut did okay. Flyboy with a little bit of indecisiveness there. Nah, has to fall back in line. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, there's a lock up there. Gets this. Whew, no wing damage. Nut gets a little bit of extra boost from that pump. And Flyboy's going to have to recompose. Just reassess and try and make that back. Alright, as we come on to the main straight, so let's pop up with a Haas driver as he tries to get an overtake on Gus, but he won't. Not quite. Gus does get a little bit slow down there on that first curve, so we'll see how well Sphinx can keep the gap. 0.3 between the Haas driver and the Ferrari driver. Combined gets an overtake on Flyboy there, so Unlucky for him. Oh, a bit of grass there on the tyre. Oh, he goes really wide there. Seb, look at that! Ninja! Seb takes it back to, excuse me, mate, I'm not meant to be here. I'm meant to be at the front. If you could just get out of the way, that'd be great. I think the best mod for this game would be if you could have a flag that just pops out of your little driver's capsule. Just a blue flag. So the guys can look in the rearview mirror and you're just sitting there going, blue flag, blue. I'd love that. But of course, that's not professional. So we'll see Seb here trying to make up all the positions he can, moving up towards the Ferrari there of Gus. 0.8 is the gap. Revo 0.3. So obviously there's going to be an attack here, I think. Yep, he's going to try and go on the outside. So he will be able to take... Let's see how it goes. But Pacey's got the... Oh, he's going to have to fall back. Yes, he does. So he'll just slot right back in there. Bide his time. It's only lap 12. So, of course, lap 14, I think, is the sweet spot there for the tyre change. So we'll be seeing some pit stops happening soon, I think. There's Pacey looking there on Revo. Ooh, a little bit of late braking there, but that's okay. Revo using more of the... as he did. Oh, loses a little bit of time there. There's a gap now. It's going up to 0.5. Still gets the DRS, so that'll be... I mean, there is, I think I can hear Sea Carrot that's joined. Hey, mate. How you going? Yeah. Oh. Oh, Revo. There we go. No worries. As Revo and Pacey make their way into the pits now to switch out for the compounds. Oh, God. Contact in the... Revo gets a 5-second time penalty for being in the pit lane, so he gets the lock-up. But unfortunately for that, so Pacey's got a pretty good chance here now, because all he has to do is just not fuck up. So there's... Jacob does make a good point. Maybe he was bumped over the line. There was a little bit of contact from what I could see, so we'll see how that goes. Obviously, it might be something for the stewards to look at. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so Seeker, just to catch you up, basically, Revo didn't qualify on pole. He qualified second. Pacey up there at the front. And it's been a bit of a, not crazy hectic, but it's been a little bit hectic. There's been a lot of position changes and this and that, incidents at the first part of the sector, but other than that, it's a pretty standard race. Obviously, yes. So they've been, they've been working their way up as everyone started going into the pits. Seb had an incident; he went way wide. That put him right at the back, but he's already moved his way up to third, so that's working well for him. Actually, might just go on board with Seb for a little bit, because he's pulling up a great drive now. As long as his internet decides to cooperate for once and not tap out, that'd be great. We'll have a look here at the gaps. So Nimble Eel 0.2 and Seb plus 4 seconds as he comes in. Bull and Rocky with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as well. Eesh. Slow your roll, slow your roll. Ooh, Seb just making it under there. So we'll move on with Pacey. Oh, as Revo overtakes Major Payne, and that gets him the lead. Major Payne's like, oh, I don't want to give it up. So first and second, but Pacey's like, excuse me, this is mine. So, ooh, Revo getting a little bit of sideways action there. Pacey tries to claw his way back. Of course, Major Payne behind him. So this could be a pretty good race for the racing points. Yeah, Major Payne does. So Major Payne, Greeny and Nimble Eel, of course, still having to do their regulation pit stop. Combined as well. Alright. We'll have a quick look at the intervals here. So plus 4, plus 3. So Sphinx coming up at the back of Flyboy. And Combined's trying to come up on the back of Bandcamp. So he's ninth. So Combined's done well to make his way back, because of course he got a qualifying ban, so he wasn't allowed to participate, so he started at the back. Wahid and Wahid did have a bit of a spin, I believe, as Major Payne makes his way into the pits. Oh man, he's gotten real close to the pit wall. Bloody hell. Revo setting a 1:20.9 there for the racing point. Alright. And it looks like Greenie's following him as well. Okay, and Nimbleel decides to stay out, so he'll try and maximise the amount of time on those hards. So he'll be able to make it to lap 19? 18, 19, something like that, I think. Oh. That's better. Wow. Okay. Totally had you muted on the stream. My bad.
Well, that's a shame. But
yeah. Okay, here's a quick update. Yeah, so if you could just give everybody a quick... If you could just give everybody a very quick update as to why
I said nothing of value anyway, it's all good. Yeah, no, I was just late. The old Bisso cut her hand open, so I spent a few hours in the hospital and rushed back here, and I catched it just as it got interesting anyway, so it's all good.
Jacob, professional stream. I'm just going to make this one defense. If it was a professional stream, both of us would have been here on time. I know that's not an excuse, but that's what I'm going with.
It's part of our protest to get better wages. I was just taking a strike.
I'm telling you, man. That's exactly right. I want my damn VB sponsorship. Okay, I want to be able to crack a cold one and get paid for it. God damn. Okay, so Nimbleel staying out there. 12 seconds behind Pacey, so of course he's not going to do any challenging there. We'll see what the intervals again. Pacey plus 0.4 behind Revo. 0.8 down there for Payne and Gus. So the entire grid on hards except for Bull. He's on the medium tyre. Oh god, there's a little bit of loss there. Ooh, Nimble. Watch yourself.
Well, I'm actually going to take some notes this time because I didn't last week and it cost me in my Tier 2 race, so I might actually follow the old T1 strategy.
Some of these gaps. 0.6 there from Gus. 0.6 again from Major Payne as well. So it looks like they've started to shuffle in. The only real outlier here is Nimble, but of course he'll have to pit at some point. So that'll put him back down the ladder. As Mattoid makes his way up to 4th and Geordie right behind. So the two Red Bulls nice and tight together there. Mattoid with a bunch of penalties though, so it's going to be a rough race for him. We'll see how much that affects him. There's Pacey.
Just Bull and Rocky on the mediums. That's... Well, I mean, it could work really well for him.
He probably won't be able to ride the mediums all the way out to the end of the race, though. I think they drop off pretty quick. I don't think he'll make it to lap 33 with him.
He's on lap 9 now, yeah.
So
but he didn't start on those, I'm assuming. So, I mean, he could go on another set of mediums from here. When he does pit. So he'll have a bit of pace in the back end, maybe.
So Nut just left the session, so he's obviously having a little bit of issues there. Hopefully he'll be able to come back. As Mattoid gets overtaken by his teammate there. Nice little battle happening. Might actually just pop onto that. As they're all trying to catch Nimbleel. Now they're obviously got fresher hard tyres, so Nimbleel's got to be really careful because these curbs are not nice on the Spain track. Especially for your first, your inside curb on turn 2 and also turn 7 and 8. As combined gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So that curb there, not very friendly. If you ride it like that, if you put your tyre all the way on the inside, you tend to be okay. If you just wrestle there on the on top of that ripple strip, it tends to be pretty detrimental. As Geordie makes that nice late braking, might just pop up with him. Let's see what he can do here to this Williams. If I had to take a guess, I'd say Nimble's probably going to pit. Revo got the fastest time for about a split second before Pacey decided and said, nah. So he's got the 1:20.0, of course, DRS being a factor. No, Nimble's staying out. He's like, no, I'll keep going. So, of course, Geordie going to be able to overtake him, no problem. Which way he's going, left or right. See how Mattoid... Oh, Mattoid dropped way back. Way back. So he's going to miss out on this entire battle as Geordie stays there.
Well, we saw Nimble do similar last week. He goes his own way on strategy, and I think it cost him a point at the end, didn't it not? So he got overtaken in the last few corners, I think. But he's unique. We like that.
Yeah, so he's you can definitely see he's losing his traction He's losing his grip. And it is costing him. He's getting a lot, as he was coming around that wide turn 3 there, he's almost drifting. So
he's a smooth driver. He's sort of the button of the AFR. Get a lot out of those tyres, but I mean, even from here, there's no way he'll be able to push it to getting on softs, but mediums are definitely a go-to.
So we've got Major Pain making a move there, up on Sphinx. It's past, not bad for the Racing Point driver. And if we have a quick look at all the intervals there, yep, all within that 1 second mark. Bandcamp 1.8. So Revo and Pacey are in their own little race as they go. Pacey, of course, making it down, so we'll see how that goes there. Got a fantastic battle between these two. It's been pretty back and forth. Revo holding it out. See how that all pans. Staying right on the back of him. We know Revo's got talent. We know Revo's got good skill, but I don't think Pacey's going to let it up quite easily. He's going to chase him down to the end of days. Make him earn that pole. Of course, Revo does have a 5-second time penalty because of the incident, so I'm sure the stewards will investigate that later. But as it stands, as long as Pacey sticks right on the back of him, he'll take the win. As Seb makes his way up. Now he's 7th, trying to catch up to Bandcamp there.
Right. Nimble's actually right up on Geordie. He's got a chance to get the takedown back.
Seb overtakes Bandcamp there. As Pacey had a little bit of traction loss. Had to wrestle the wheel there, but he's come back, so he'll probably be able to get on the inside if he wants to, but is it? Revo quite smart there, moving, oh look at that, defending there. I'd want to argue he was defending in the braking zone, but probably not. Revo does well to try and keep that, forcing him onto the outside, but he just holds it there, so let's have a look. Oh no, Bull and Rocky with a DNF as well. So that is the alpha chance gone. So no alpha points today. Revo going a little bit wide there.
That's a shame. Return to form for old Alpha. Pick up their first point last week, and well, it wasn't a sign of better things to come.
Not at all. Okay, so Gus 0.1 behind Bandcamp. Might just jump on with that. A little bit of a train happening here. So Seb's obviously getting his gap further and further. Bandcamp dropping behind, but Gus is just like, let's see if I can take some time out of this.
I think it's actually sort of Mutants, or Seb I should say, is slowing them down a little bit. Backing them up a bit. All on pretty much equal tyres, so there's no advantage to be gained there. We're going to have to do it the hard way.
Alright, as they come up to that back section of the track, so Pacey still with 0.5. Obviously that'll come down further and further with the DRS. Probably won't be able to take the position, so he'll just have to slide in line as we are on board with Gus. So we'll see if Bandcamp can do anything here, or Gus can do anything. I don't think so. Matt Zoid with a 0.5 gap there to Nimble. So we'll see how this all pans out. You can see the train weaving right to left, seeing if they can get the toe. No, it's just going to be more position maintaining. Ooh, just really wide there. Alright, so Nimble's still out on the track. He's up here on 4th. 20 lap old hards.
Well, I mean, he's got to be pushing to just run mediums to the end. I mean, it's the only reason you'd sit out there on those things, surely. So,
well, yeah, there you go. But what I'm surprised is he's holding the grip. 20 lap old tyres, they can't be fun to drive, as is evident. He just goes left there. Jesus.
But I mean, he's slowing everyone else around him down, so if they don't want to get past him, then it's only going to help him.
So this could be 3,000 IQ plays from the Williams driver. We'll see how it goes.
As Matt dives deep, can't get around him there either, so...
Pacey sets a 120.7. In that never-ending battle, we'll just quickly go on. Oh, he tries to go on the inside there. God, there's a lock-up, so Revo's going to go really wide. Oh, man, is that going to affect him there? Jeez, that's a bit close. There's no love lost between these two. They are going at it. That's fantastic. Matsoy takes the overtake there as Nimble finally pits. So we'll see him probably jump onto that medium tyre. Alright, so 10. Oh, God, Pacey getting a little bit of traction there. Oof, manages to catch it. Not bad. Lucky. These top two might crash. I'm going to say no, but the closer it gets to the end of the race, the crazier they're going to get. And one might crash. Jacob saying they did in the pits. Yep. Well, yeah, there you go. So, I guess that's that done. That box ticked off.
Well,
right.
Nibble runs the mediums now. What's he got? 11 laps to last.
So he's obviously going to have pace on the rest of the grid. So we'll see how high he can climb up there as Pacey puts on that DRS. Nimble Eel. Oh no! He gets 3 second time penalty. So strategy might have just gone in the bin.
But I mean, well, just as before he said that, he should have guaranteed himself at least a point now because he's in the top 10 with the fastest tyre going to the end. But yeah, the 3 seconds might hurt. But realistically, he's 16 seconds from 8th. So I doubt he'll be able to gain much more than that from here to the end.
Gus coming right up on the back of Bandcamp there. Plus 2.2 was the gap. So obviously there's going to be some good DRS action happening there as Major Payne overtakes Sphinx in the midfield. Man, this battle between Revo and Pacey, this is fantastic. Revo's trying his very best to try and get as much. Oh, and they're coming up on the back markers now. How will this affect it? Will Revo be slowed up enough? Or will they be able to just get past? It'll be up to Nut to make sure he gets out of the way.
There's no castle section for him to yeet himself into this time, so hopefully this battle will go to the end.
That's correct. So, Nut will be getting a warning here for blue flag soon. Oh, God, Nut's spun.
Oh, no.
So maybe he was trying to get out of the way. I didn't quite catch that, but that's one way to do it. As Pacey hits a 120.7, it's only going to get faster and faster.
Just too far back off Revo's tail there.
Yeah, he'll be trying to push as hard as he can, but he won't want to push too hard because he'll want to make sure that he stays with contention. Second place isn't bad. Of course, you want to get first, but Pacey does have the added benefit of knowing that Revo has a 5 second time penalty. How it will affect at the end, we'll see. But for now, Pacey just needs to maintain that gap, and all is well. But I don't think he's happy with just that. I think he's like, no, I want first.
Yeah, once on track first, it's a different beast. But I mean, top two's wrapped up for them both as long as they don't do anything silly. So they'll have that in the back of their mind too.
That's right, 21 seconds there for Geordie behind. So that's very much the case. Revo and Pacey are in their own little race while the rest are doing theirs. Down into that 100 metre marker, braking down through the gears. Oh man, Pacey with a fantastic drive here. Revo with another fantastic drive. They are just absolute masters doing this. Just trying to keep their pace, not doing anything stupid. Staying on the track, just want to, but yeah, Pacey not letting this go. And of course, rightly so, why would you want to? As he comes in, back onto that straight, into the DRS zone. He's got great charge there on the ERS. He's pushing hard, and he's probably not going to be able to get that overtake. It's going to come down to the point 2 as Seb gets a 3 second time penalty. Oh, is he going to go for the dive bomb? He does, but he's got to pull up the car. Oh, that's fantastic, as Revo's like, you screwed up. You got that lockup. I'm going to take this back. Oh, man.
Well, when you push, that's what happens, I suppose. It's risk-reward.
That's exactly right. The Mercedes knew that he'd have the dive bomb opportunity, but the problem with the dive bomb is you got to slow up your car, and if you get a lockup, you lose time, and that is a turn 1 to turn 2 switchback. So Revo was like, sure, you want to take that position, you can, but I'm going to take it back from you on the next turn, and he did, because he took the outside line, which means he had more grip. And so Revo played that really well. Now, Pacey, look, he doesn't care about the time penalty, I don't think. He is pushing to win. He's doing everything he can to take that first position better. So, yeah,
well, it certainly helps him know that second place is safe for him. It gives him that comfort that he can push and knows even if he had a spin, he'll probably come back on and still keep second. So that helps for sure with the old confidence. As we see, Nimble has pulled that gap to 11th, so the 3 seconds not costing me at the moment. His combined jumps up ahead of Greenie.
Alright. So Pacey just slotting up behind there, just trying to maintain that gap. Oh no, Pacey obviously had a quarter cut, so now he's got a 3 second time penalty. That's going to affect it a little bit more. So
that throws some rocks in the mix, doesn't it? Okay.
So Revo with a 5, Pacey with a 3. So there's a 2 second gap now. There's a 2 second gap that Pacey needs to maintain in order to take that first spot if he doesn't manage to get the position. Woo! This is coming down to the wire now as Seb gets his way past Matzoid. Oh, but Matzoid keeps the position there. Red Bull saying, I'm not going to give it to you that easy.
Pacey likely doesn't know Revo's got that penalty, or does he?
No, because it
wouldn't, got on there,
no, it wouldn't broadcast that, I don't think.
So now he'll be pushing extra hard, thinking he's got to make up 3 seconds on Revo as well. So
we see his teammate Seb trying to make his way back up there as well. I'm sure he'd want the 3rd place on the podium, and he can do it. There's still a decent amount of laps to go, so oh man, there's a lot of tyres there, but he managed to hold it.
It's nice to see Matt back up there. Both Matt and Geordie had a terrible week last week, so
Revo sits a 120.6 in the racing point. God, so not only are they having the battle on the track for positions, they're having a battle for fastest lap as well. Is Seb most probably going to take this position from Matzoid. Ooh, Matzoid gets a little bit of wide there, but Seb also takes that career pretty tight. So we'll see how this goes. And he's going to go right up there. And he takes that position there quite well. As Matzoid slides back in 5th. Oh, look at the drift happening. Oh, Seb.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Seb, be careful, mate. That Red Bull's going to give you...
cooked.
Yeah, that Red Bull's going to give you absolutely no slack. It's waiting to bite.
It's invited Gus into the party too. He's just outside the 2nd, so come next pit straight, there's a chance he'll be in the fight too. They're 2 fighting for the rest of this lap.
Indeed, so Gus plus 1.3 and then Bandcamp 0.6 behind him, so there is an insane train happening from 4th to 7th, and Sphinx gets a 3 second time penalty back there.
That'll cost him his top 10 ambitions for sure.
Revo, oh my god, and again, Revo takes a 120.5 something, and then Pacey immediately sets a 120.5 too. The
How are they setting these laps on 15 lap old hards? This is mental.
Guys, well, of course, you've got your fuel load coming down, so obviously a lighter car and it's going to push, but they're not easing up. I mean, Lucky might be right here. I mean, they might crash. They might push so hard they just forget. I wouldn't say that they would, but it might happen because they might just be so focused on trying to keep themselves in the position that they might screw up. As you see these
they've pulled 4 seconds on Geordie in the last couple of laps. So
yeah, I mean, it's incredible.
It's
like they're on dying tyres, right? They know that they've got their positions there, and they're still gaining away. Like there's no love lost. But just having a look there, Pacey is now 1.2, 1.3 back. So something's happened there. We might just pop in with him.
His lap's just getting a little bit dirtier. I've seen him. He's oversteered a fair bit on the exits, so he's lightened those rears up. I reckon they're sitting in the 60-70% zone.
Well, they've still got 5 laps to go. So he's going to want to make sure he can hold on. Now, he won't have DRS this time around. Does Revo set a fastest lap? No, he doesn't. Okay. It's a little bit more conservative. But Pacey's got to make up that time. 1.4. Now, remember, the sweet spot here is 2 seconds. Revo with a 5 second time penalty. Pacey with a 3. So he has to stay within that 2 second margin. Now, the question will be, if he goes outside the 2 second margin, is it worth Revo putting in a complaint? I don't think it is. He'll have the first position, nothing will have come from it. But if it's within the 2 seconds, more often I would assume Revo's going to probably bring it up. So yeah, we'll see how that pans. But this is fantastic. This is great. He is just on the edge of that gap. There it is there, 2.010. That is him out. So he's going to bring that back, and he's going to bring it back within 4 laps. So as we look down through the grid, Matt Zoid with a 0.6 behind Seb, Bandcamp 0.6 behind Gus, and that back section of the track there with Nut, Polo, and Wahid, they're all just running their own race. They seem like they've got their gaps pretty solidified, so that's probably going to be your grid. Apollo, of course, the closest one there with 0.6 towards Wahid. So, yeah, oh man, I don't know. Now this is really coming down to, can Pacey keep up the pace and take the win? I don't know. Revo with a 120.4, so now Revo's like, I'm getting the fastest lap and I'm taking your first position, man. And Pacey's like, he's watching it slip. But I can only imagine that he's just like, man, just lock it down. Like, try and get it there. Don't screw up. But it's getting bigger and bigger. It's now up to 2.5 as they make their way.
You'd expect his tyres to be far worse than Revo, so following just, it kills him. So Revo will have just that little bit extra life, I think.
Oh, and that is such a shame as the gap gets bigger and bigger. Revo's just laughing as he makes his way out. So, oh man, I feel so bad for Pacey. There was such a close battle. But just judging by the timing, I don't think he can bring it back. I think his tyres, I think you're right, his tyres are just so shot.
Still time for another penalty as Nut picks up a fiver for speeding in the pit lane.
That's rough. 3.2 now the gap, so Pacey's just losing more and more time. So it looks like Pacey's going to have to settle with that second position. But there are 3 laps, a lot can happen. I mean, Revo's tyres wouldn't be any better either. I mean, I'm sure he's got lots of tyre wear, so he'll have to contend with. So he's going to have to make sure he plays it quite smart. We might just... Geordie gets a 3-second time penalty now as well. Jesus. Alright, we might just pop down here to Bandcamp. There's a closer battle happening now, so let's see if Bandcamp can get past the Ferrari of Gus. And Pacey goes into the pits. Alright, so Pacey's given up, trying to catch.
He's going for the sprint.
He knows what's going on, so he's like, nah, soft tyres.
He wants that extra point.
That's right, soft tyres, low fuel, let's go. And of course, Pacey's going to be able to smash quite a good lap time with those. And of course, he's going to exit way further ahead than Geordie, so that's not even going to be an issue. Will it? I thought he was more than 20 seconds out. Nah, there he is. Pacey goes out and Geordie slightly behind. So now obviously it's not going to be an issue. Pacey on soft, fresh tyres. Geordie's never going to have the pace to catch him there, so that's not going to be a problem. So it looks like Revo's going to be your race leader, followed by Pacey, who's probably going to go and set the fastest lap, and Geordie going to take it up to third. But Seb's not out of the race yet.
Geordie doesn't have any time penalties, does he?
Geordie does have time penalties. Okay. So Seb, all he has to do is keep that gap. Geordie has, I believe, 1 3-second time penalty. He could have more. I wasn't paying attention close to that, but I know he's got at least 1 3 seconds. So Seb keeps that, and he'll have the podium, which will give him a boost in the Constructors' Championship as well. So that'll mean Mercedes will be right up there. They're already dominating, but it can't hurt to have more points. So we'll see how this pans out.
Nimble, he's coming up on the back of Payne, so he's got that chance for 8th.
And Seb's left the session. You are joking.
Ooh.
You are joking. Lap 32.
I mean, it's within...
Oh, man.
Coming into the rules, I mean, you'd expect him to still be given his position.
At this point, you'd swear someone's waiting outside his house and just flicking his Ethernet cable on and off, just to give us more entertainment. It's nuts, isn't it? All right, so Seb, unfortunately, the AI is going to do its best. It's not going to hold that position. Matt Zoid creeping up on him now, so it looks like Seb's lost the opportunity to try and get that third position. But we'll see. He has to be 3 seconds. 1 lap to go. Can the computer do it? We'll see how it goes. Major Payne overtaking Nimble there. Oh, sorry, and they're fighting back and forth there, so...
Yeah.
Well done there. Nimble's
soft tyres have worked for Nimble. He's timed them pretty well by the look of it.
Alright, so let's have a quick look again through this interval. So Matt Zoid 0.9 behind Seb, as Seb's slowly but surely getting a bigger gap as the computer's taking over for him. Right, we'll drop down 1. We'll see this battle here. So, of course, Revo coming through there. Pacey just got another 3-second time penalty. Oof.
Did he? Okay, well, unless he can pick up another, brings Geordie into the fight suddenly.
Pacey sets a 1:19.2, and there he goes. He gets it. He's got Oh, he's got the fastest lap. So at least he'll get the bonus points there. But... oh, no, Geordie's got time penalties as well, so that's not going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue there. All right, Matzoid. As he ghosts straight through the Mercedes there.
That invites Gus into the battle.
Right, so... it's looking like your grid is going to be Revo, Pacey and Geordie on the podium. And yeah, unfortunately, Seb with that DC, so he's not going to be able to make it up at all. Now, Gus, 1.1 behind Seb there. Can he make up enough time to make it back? He's dropping it. He's within the 1 second now as he comes into the DRS zone. They're on the same amount of tyres. Revo gets another 5-second time penalty for an unserved penalty. So,
oh, shit.
So wow. That puts him on 10 seconds.
So suddenly Pacey's spewing that he pitted. Oh, no.
Yeah, well... oh, my God. And Seb joins at the last section of the track. Oh, is this what's going on? Okay, so, look, you've pretty much got your grid there. Geordie going across the line pretty much now for that third position.
Ah, no, that was, yeah, as Chat said, it was just the 5 seconds as he crossed the line.
Ah, yep, no worries.
Being applied to him, so it wasn't a different one.
Done. Alright, so there's your race there. Revo in first place with Pacey taking up that second position, and Geordie in the Red Bull making up the last place on the podium. So all in all, not a bad race. I feel a bit bad for Pacey. That battle was going so well. Until, of course, he started just losing way too much time. So Revo just took that and went with it. But it'll be interesting to see if they bring up that pit lane incident. I'm sure guys in the chat have clipped it already.
Gus was 0.007 off Geordie.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's just absolutely mental to me. I can't get my head around it. That's well within the margin of a bit of lag spike.
Yeah,
so
man. All right, so there is our race done as the drivers take their places.
As old man Prost jumps up onto the podium.
Yeah, apparently got really bored over at Renault. Decided
next to babyface Pacey. There's a bit of an age gap on that podium. Good 40, 50 years, I reckon.
How is it that Prost can show emotion, but Brendan Lay's like, nah, no thanks. I'm just here because they put me here.
Wow. Stone cold.
That's it. All right, so there's your race, ladies and gentlemen. Revo winning. So Revo with that 1 5-second time penalty. Placey with 2 time penalties puts him down there. Geordie, of course, with 2 as well. So interesting race there. But yeah, hopefully it was enjoyable for you guys as we now have to go get ready to do our race. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've been Kunai Zero. This has been Sea Carrot, and we'll see you next week.
Catch ya.